It's another original BW Sports One production. Pew pew! All right, everybody, welcome back to the Combat Zone here at Southern Indiana Combat Productions. March 4th, 2023, the second coming down at Evansville Veterans Memorial Coliseum, brought to you by D. Patrick Ford Lincoln of Evansville. And right now, I have with me one half of the main event, March 4th, down there at the Coliseum, Terry the Brick House. What is happening, my brother? Long time no see.
Oh man, still hanging in there. 16 years in the game, baby. We just loaded year 16 this past October. This past Thanksgiving Day, I was blessed to turn 42 years old. I'm still here. What's going on?
That's what I like it. I like it. We was talking before we were recording. It's been a while since him and I have been in the same vicinity, same room, same studio, same event together, and I'm looking forward to it. Tell not everybody may not know where Terry House comes from and the background of his fight career. So Terry, please enlighten the SICP and the BW Sports One family on who Terry House is from the jump.
Well, 16 years in, uh, born and raised in Chicago, Illinois. I currently reside in Gary, Indiana. I actually started my MMA career kind of on the underground scene in maybe around 2006. I started in the underground scene. I was just online looking, taking fights here and there. And when I decided I wanted to do this for real and do it full time, I joined an actual fight team, and I ended up hooking up with UFC veteran John Colossi right after he finished his season of The Ultimate Fighter. And I found out he lived in Portage, Indiana. He lived really close to me. He was one of my favorite characters on the show. So I found out what gym he trained in. I got in the gym with UFC veteran John Colossi, uh, then WEC veteran Eddie Wineland, Nicholas Wayne. I joined their fight team, and they sort of groomed me, taught me the game, groomed me, uh, honed my skills in my game, and until I became the person I am now. And then once I branched off on my own, I was ready for the fight world. They groomed me, they taught me the game, and once I branched off on my own and started to become the person that I am, so I got to pay homage to those guys: Nick Wayne, John Colossi, Aaron Noel. Got to pay homage to those guys. They taught me everything I know, and then sent me out to branch out on my own. And 16 years later, I'm still here.
You still here, you still going strong, and
Oh yeah.
that's one of those things that you don't see a lot of. As far as a career may be long, but COVID kind of threw some jabs in there as far as canceling shows and stuff for a little bit. But looking at your rapport, I guess your resume, you don't miss a year. I mean, you've continuously stayed in the mix, maybe once a year, maybe twice a year occasionally, but you've stayed in there. How has that helped you to get to where you are now, ready for another fight in 2023?
Well, I live my life by the five P's. Uh, that's proper preparation prevents poor performance. And I prepare in the gym, and I prepare my mind. I do a lot of meditation. I stay in my Bible. I stay in my word. I prepare at home. MMA is a lifestyle. It's not a sport. So I don't even start a training camp unless my home life is fine. Me and my wife, if we argue, I'm not starting the training camp. If my kids aren't straight, I don't start the training camp. So I prepare at home. I also listen to my body. This was it was kind of frowned upon back in the day. You would miss a practice because your body tell you, hey, you can't do it today. And I would take that day off. I always listened to my body. And it was frowned upon maybe 2007, 2012, between that time, to miss a practice if it was a few weeks out from a fight and you take a day off. But it when it came to my body, when I took those days off, it rewarded me when I came back. So a day off here and there would always reward me when I go back to the gym. So I always listen to my body, and that's how longevity has always been my thing in this sport. Me personally, I always wanted to do this and do this for as long as I wanted to. So I always took care of my body, listened to my body. Certain habits I had, I cut them off. Other than the cigars, I'm still a cigar man. But certain habits of certain people. When I first started out in the game, man, I had homeboys that made fun of me going to the gym. I didn't want to go to the club no more. I wanted to hang out in the gym. I wanted to go to the gym instead of hanging out. And I had homeboys tried to make fun of me wanting to go to the gym and get in shape. And I had to distance myself from those guys and change the people around me. So I mean, like I said, longevity was always my goal in this sport. And like I said, I'm 16 years in right now, still going strong. Not only just fighting and competing, but competing on a high level. So I'm proud of where I've come from and where I am now. So
Well, and you kind of mentioned some of those tribulations that you've dealt with, through your career. We've all learned at our age now, we're a little bit wiser than what we were in '06, '07 when both of us kind of got into that scene. Obviously, you took it a lot farther than I did because I was tired of getting kicked in my knee, but that's that's neither here nor there. Um, Tell us, and tell the fans out there what type of things, obstacles, the things that fighters go through, and maybe in particular what you've seen in your life. Like I said, you mentioned a little bit with the group that you hung out with, and that's kind of changed. What other tribulations and obstacles have you had to deal with in your fight career?
well, for me personally, uh, I wrestled from the age I was 4. I had my first wrestling match at the age of 4. And I wrestled from the age of 4. I wrestled through high school. I wrestled in college. And through all that wrestling, I didn't realize how disciplined you had to be to do anything until I started MMA. Once I started training MMA, and you have to take your discipline to a certain level just in order to get through a practice, let alone a training camp, and to cut weight and to prepare for a fight. And like I said, the guys that started me out in the sport, they really groomed me, man. Like in a way, they kind of threw me to the wolves, and I learned. Like I started my career, driving all over the southeast, fighting the hometown guy, getting booed, what I mean, getting thrown to the wolves, and it prepared me, staying in hotels, cutting weight, staying in hotels, and having to, fight hometown guys. Like I got groomed, and it helped me to grow. It helped me in my discipline. It helped me in my mentality. My mentality was really strong when it comes to like everything. And then like I say, friends, like you're gonna lose some people. Every like I said, it's a lifestyle. Everybody is not gonna be down with what you're trying to do. You know, could it be jealousy? Maybe, maybe not. They say that sometimes the only success some people get is when they get a taste of yours. So you got some people that act like they're cheering for you and they're really not. So other than that, like you have to be really, really super disciplined. Just like I said, just to get through a practice, let alone an 8 to 10 week training camp. And like I said, cutting weight and having to go out and compete, and then you got another guy standing on the other side of the cage, really wanting to hurt you too. So you're actually getting into a fight. So like I said, it's a lifestyle. You have to change up everything about yourself if you want to do MMA. Like I said, you can play basketball, you can play football, you can't play MMA. It's always been the saying coming up in my era. You can't play this shit. You have to do it. If you want to do it, you have to be all in. So I've always wanted to do it. I never done it for the money. I never did it for the money. I do pretty well for myself. I got a little bit of bread put up. What I mean? So I've always done it because I wanted to do it. And I think that's probably another reason why I'm here now. I never did it for the money. Therefore, I was always able to put myself in position to get some of these huge fights that I had because I never had to try to price my way into these fights. A lot of guys price their way out of certain fights because they were in it for the money, and I was in it because I love the fight. So
Well, and I'll agree with that definitely 100%. I also want to hopefully, Southern Indiana Combat Productions is known and will be known, widely known more for being for the fighter. Obviously, like you said, this is a business. Promoters need to make money to make sure that the next show can go on for all you guys, fighters wise, guys and girls out there to promote yourself. I mean, that's what you're doing. You're promoting your own brand not only in the cage but outside. Social media is big, huge now compared to when you and I got into it at first. That stuff was kind of settling in. You had the MySpace, but now it's kind of widely known everywhere on social media. What
You know
was
what
it?
the beauty when it comes to me, and I have to do this. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to
Oh, you're
interject.
good. You're
But the
good.
beauty when it came to me is I was born and raised in Chicago, and I live in Gary, Indiana. So there's two huge cities, and I always had a huge following, and I grew up in the hood. You know what I mean? And everybody in my neighborhood was just so proud of me. Like I was a shorty. I was hanging out in the streets, and I remember people used to tell me, "Man, you're gonna go to college. You don't need to be out here." And I'm like, "Man, go to college. Yeah, you need to go to college, shorty. You don't need to be out here on these streets." And I end up going to college. And I ended up wrestling in college, and like my hood was just so proud of me because I ended up doing what they wanted me to do. I ended up going to college. I ended up getting 2 degrees. I'm a mechanical engineer. And then once MMA came around, my neighborhood was just so proud of me that they supported me. So that's why I had always had a huge following. And when it came down to the fight game, everybody showed up. When it came down to a fight, I mean, the land showed up. They came from Chicago to Valparaiso. They'll drive from Chicago to Kokomo. Gary will drive from here to there. They follow me. And this was before social media. I didn't even have MySpace. I think I came on Facebook in maybe 2010. So even when the whole internet era was going on, like my whole word of mouth was just my hood that I grew up that raised me and protected me. And once I got out here and was doing good, they just came together and supported me in everything that I do. And then, like I said, like you say, the social media thing got pretty big, and I figured out a way to utilize it to my advantage. You know what I mean? Social media to build my brand even bigger, but also walk with humility and try to give back for the people that helps me out. That's why I do a lot of public speaking. I speak to children. I do a lot of community work because I don't want the people online to think that I'm using them just to help me out or just to help me make money and follow my fight. So I always give back. So if anybody needs for me to do anything, anybody needs for me to show up anything, that's how I pay my homage to the people who's helped me with my success and get to where I am today. So I always walk with humility. Anybody that asks me to come to something, I will drop what I got going on and show up. And that's how I give back to the community and people that helped me get to where I am today.
That right there is awesome, brother. And I wish more people would have that same type of mentality. It is what it is. We got to find the good ones. We got to help the bad ones. I don't want to say bad ones. We got to help the less fortunate ones, just like you said, especially the kids. That is our future. Now,
It's not even about that. It's more about and I can only speak from my personal experience. Like I said, coming from the neighborhood that I grew up in. I didn't grow up in a bad neighborhood, Chicago. Let me just but I grew up in Chicago. And a lot of times when it comes to the youth, especially in the city and in Gary, sometimes they just need to see somebody who made it.
mhm,
And that's what a lot of people don't understand when it comes to the urban community. And I'm somebody who actually came out of the same era that they in and made something of themselves. And that's when I talk to them and they see, hey, you grew up down the street from where I grew up, and you went to college and you got 2 degrees and you're a professional fighter and you're fighting on TV. You can do the same thing, Shorty. So that's what I do. When I go back to the community, sometimes they just need a little bit of hope to see that somebody from the same neighborhood made it, defied the odds, and prove the stereotypes about us wrong. So that's what it comes down to when it comes to me personally, my community. That's why, like I said, I always go where I'm wanted. I always go where I'm needed, where I'm asked, and I'll sit down and talk to anybody I need to talk to because that's what was shown to me.
I love it, man. I love it. Now, you're coming down to the opposite corner, straight south, about 5.5, 6 hours away from you, from Gary to Evansville, bringing the pain to Tavea Lewis. What is it that you have to do in training camp, or what's what is going to get you the keys of victory in this matchup at SICP2, the second coming?
Well, not to give away any details, but we did a really good job. We watched quite a bit of film on him, so we found a lot of not a lot, but we found some holes in this game that we're working on exposing. And uh, he's beatable. We all are.
Mhm.
You got a 50-50 chance he's beatable. He's a tough guy. I know we've been jawing a little bit online, but it's not personal. I do that because I want to bring out the best in the kid. You know what I'm saying? If I bring out the best in him, he's gonna bring out the best in me. We're both gonna train our asses off. And one of our hands is going to be raised at the end of the fight. But at the end of the night, the Evansville fans are going to be the real winner because they're going to get an exciting fight. So I know y'all see us jawing online and everything and shit like that, but it's nothing personal. It's just business, And like I said, I'm doing that to I want to bring out the best in him. You know what I'm saying? He's a tough kid, and I want his best that night. I want him at his best that night. I want him at his healthiest. I want him at his biggest. You know what I mean? And that's why you see the jawing online. He's a tough kid, and I never take anybody for granted. I don't care what your record is. I don't care what you got going on. Anybody who steps in the cage is tough. They're a killer, so you have to prepare for that person as if, they're a killer and they're going out in the cage, they're going to hurt you. If you're looking at somebody's record and thinking, oh, I got an easy win or this, and that, you're already putting yourself in a bad position. So by no means am I going out there thinking he's going to be a cakewalk. I hope he's not doing the same. Like I said, I want the best to Bay. He's going to get the best Terry House. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, one of our hands is going to be raised at the end of the fight, but the Evansville fans are going to be the real winner.
Well, let me just say from the promotion, we are looking forward to this fight. As a fight fan, I'm really looking forward to this fight. Now, before I let you go to practice, I know we're crunching on time, but I got to send you through what we call rapid knockout here at BW Sports One.
Okay.
5 questions, has absolutely nothing necessarily to do with the fight game career. Are you ready?
Yeah, let's go. Let's go.
Number 1, favorite food.
My favorite food, it's pizza. I'm from Chicago. And let me let y'all in on a little secret. Chicago people do not eat deep dish. That is some tourist shit. Okay? The Giordano's, I know everybody go deep dish. We don't eat no motherfucking deep dish. We do it every once in a while. You want some good pizza, inbox me, message me. I'll tell y'all next time they go to Chicago to get the best pizza in the world. But it's not deep dish, man. We'll go for it every once in a while to some tourist shit.
I like it. I like it. Message noted. Next question. When you are, and it could be two different answers here. When you're training and when you're just cruising around, what's in your ear? What are you listening to? What's in the, oh shit, it used to be tape deck, used to be CD deck. Now it's what's on your iTunes, what's on your phone. What kind of music does Terry like to get into on both sides, like the getting ready for the fight and just kind of hanging out?
My music selection is so random, man. I'll go from Tupac to Curtis Mayfield to Michael McDonald to Mariah Carey to Anita Baker, Frankie Beverly and Mays. I grew up on 70s, 80s, 90s R&B.
Yep.
I wasn't really allowed to listen to rap music. I grew up in a Christian household, and we couldn't really listen to rap music. R&B was somewhat okay as long as you turned it down. So I kind of fell in love with R&B music. I'm actually a musician. I play the keyboard and piano. So I'm in love with R&B music. So my rap music is very, very limited. Tupac and maybe 8-Ball MJG will be probably the hardest you'll hear me listening to, but it's definitely R&B. And even when I'm getting ready for a fight, man, I got those headphones on. You think I'm listening to some rap music, man? You might hear some Anita Baker, or some Ron Isley Brothers going through my ears, man. I'm all about R&B, relaxing music, smooth jazz. My 13-year-old, she loves jazz. When we go do stuff together, we got a jazz station on Pandora we listen to. I'm just a relaxed guy, so.
Nice. I love it, man. All right. Final question. If you had one person to name that you were looking up to, idolized, who's your hero in your life, who would that person be?
That would definitely be my grandfather. My grandfather raised me from birth, and I was so afraid of that man, and he never raised his voice at me. He never raised his voice at me. Even when I was doing something I wasn't supposed to do, he'd look at me with this look, and I'd be so scared, and he'd smile at me, and he'd say, you're not supposed to do that, man. He was a Bible reader and a Bible believer, and only thing I ever wanted to do in my life was to be just a fraction of what he was. He passed away in 2004, and I can go on and about that man, and he taught me from an early age, that my job was to grow up, be a good man, get married, have kids, raise a family, and take care of your family. And I am married and I got 3 kids. I got 2 that's grown and out of the house with college degrees. I have a 13-year-old that can't wait to turn 18 and go to college. I'm married to a beautiful woman who's a respiratory therapist. I'm a mechanical engineer, and I hope I made him proud. It was some rough patches along the way. Like I said, I grew up in Chicago, man. I didn't always do the right thing, and I kind of like strayed the path, but I found my way back on the straight path, man. And I just hope, I'm making them proud down here, taking care of business, as far as like being a family man and working, and everything I'm doing in my life, man. So if it's anything else, it's my grandfather, and honestly, nobody else.
I like that, brother. I think if I could speak for him, I had no clue who the guy was, but it sounds like he was an amazing man, and I'm glad that you had somebody like that in your time growing up to kind of look up to. And I would say, from what we all know here, just in this little interview, that you've given us, and what I've known for you personal for years, I think he's proud, brother.
Oh, thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Yep, yep. So SICP2, the second coming, March 4th, 2023, Evansville, Indiana.
We coming.
He's coming,
We
folks.
coming, we coming, we coming. It's weird because I got a phone call about the first show, and at the time my daughter was turning 21, and we had a family vacation planned for her 21st birthday, and was like, I wasn't available, but I got a chance to catch a little bit of the show online on vacation, and I'm sitting around, I'm like, damn, it's a good fucking show, like missed opportunity. It's fine, So I started following the page, and like I believe after the weekend at the event, they goes, "Hey, we're gonna get started on the second show." And I get a phone call like the next day, like, "Hey, are you available for the second show?" And so, like for me, 16 years in the game, for the still to have people to reach out to me and want to see me perform, like I said, I'm very humbled by that, and I owe it to you guys to come down and give you guys the best Terry House. Like I said, that's why the jawing is to a minimum. I'm not trying to disrespect the kid. Like I said, I want to bring the best out of him, so the best him can show up, because the best me is going to show up. And we're going to give you guys, it's going to be fireworks. You know what I'm saying? Like, I respect the kid, but, I'm coming to take his fucking head off. You know what I mean? And I want him to be on the same shit. I want him to come to take my head off, because, like I said, at the end of the day, I mean, we're athletes, but this is entertainment. We got to entertain the crowd. Like I said, I'm hoping I'm bringing the best out of them, so we can uh, entertain you guys, and may the best man win. So like I said, but again, I really appreciate you guys reaching out to me. I mean, it was 2 days after your last show. Hey, are you available for the second show? And I literally cleared my calendar and made sure I was available. I mean, like I said, I appreciate the opportunity. And one of my teammates was just added on a couple days ago, Scuba Steve, and he's ready. He's excited, and we're just ready to come down and put on a show for the fans.
And I know we can't wait. I'm going to speak for the rest of the promotion. We are looking forward to this second show, the second coming, March 4th, 2023, down in Evansville. Terry, before we let you go, now's your time. Haters, lovers, family, friends, sponsors, anybody that you want to give a shout out to, floor's yours, brother.
First of all, let me give a shout out to my wife. Like I said, Joy. 16 years in this game, man. People often give up on you when you've been doing something for a long time, and she's been riding with me, what I'm saying, even harder than she did when we first started, and so first and foremost, I want to give a shout out to my wife, and I can sit up here and tell I love her a million times, and it won't be enough. you know. Second of all, I want to give a shout out to my teammates, G2, all the killers over at G2. These guys are, I gotta get. I'm the oldest person in the gym, obviously, and they give me the OG respect that I earned, that I deserve. But the beauty about these guys is they're not afraid to get in my face and push me, man. I love it. Hey, OG, you get 5 rounds straight this time. OG, hey, I need 10 takedowns before practice ends for you. Hey, OG, let's do this. So these guys are pushing me, and I'm going out there and I'm going to represent these guys. Danny Gilbert has been a mentor of mine since 2009. Like I said, UFC veteran John Coliseum walked me in his gym in 2009, told me I need to get tougher. I was like, I thought I was tough already, and I got in that gym with those guys and found out I wasn't. So shout out to the G2 boys, you know what I'm saying? And couple of sponsors, like my main sponsors. Northwestern Mutual, of course, my financial advisor, my manager, Matt Vollum, A Touch of Joy Body Sculpting and Body Wellness, Spot Rinse Car Wash right here in Maryville, Indiana, Heavy on the Health, who does my strength and conditioning. I does my strength and conditioning with Heavy on the Health. I do my striking and my cardio strength training with Train Like a Pro. So shout out to Ed Ochoa and Train Like a Pro. And Crown Royal is actually my biggest sponsor. You know, when I'm going to be doing some traveling, I'm headed out to Vegas to go to Extreme Couture to train. They front the bill. Every time I go out of town to train, Crown Royal, they front the bill. Make sure I'm laid up for the next few weeks. They pay for my training and everything. Shout out to everybody at Extreme Couture. In particular, Cody Statement, who's been a really good friend of mine, and Christopher Curtis. You know, boys, I'm coming. I see y'all in a couple of days. You know, I'm ready for y'all. And everybody, like I say, who supported me, man. Like I said, I've been doing this for a long time. And you think after a while people fade away, they start to drift off. But my following is strong. My people love me. I call them my family. I don't like to call them followers. My family is strong. My family's grown bigger. And they riding with me. So I do this for everybody. Like I said, Chi-Town, Gary, Indiana, 312-219. I do it for those guys, like I said, because Chicago raised me and protected me. Gary, Indiana made me who I am. So I'm a hybrid. I'm a token of two cities. You know what I mean? And if anybody got anything to say about Gary or Chicago, you better live in paradise. You better not let me hear about it, because this is where I lay my head. You know what I'm saying? I raised 3 kids here. I lay my head down here respectfully every single night. And I represent the 219 just like I represent the 312, and everybody got my back. And like I said, if you got something to say about where I live, you better not let me hear about it, because I'm on your ass.
Well, I promise you, Terry, it's not me that's ever said the armpit of Indiana. I will promise that. I've heard that before, but it's never came out of my voice that I'm meaning it for.
Oh, yeah.
Terry the Brick House, I appreciate your time. We cannot wait till SICP 2, the second coming, March 4, 2023, Evansville Veterans Memorial Coliseum, the Brick House
White
himself.
Sox, baby, not the Cubs.
No, thank you. I want to say it because it's not in my division. Go Red.
Not the Cubs, man. Sorry, Cubs fan. I couldn't represent for y'all this rip.
Hey, I'm fine with that. We are perfectly fine with that here. Terry, again, brother, I appreciate you. Great seeing you again. And I can't wait to see you again live and in person.
Yes,
March
sir.
3rd. Yep, I'll be down there. So we'll get busy and get some pictures taken down there. Again,
Absolutely.
Thank you again for the time, and I cannot wait to see you again, brother.
Thank you very much, brother. Thank you for having me.
Yes, sir. We will see everybody March 4th, 2023, Evansville Memorial Coliseum, SICP 2, the second coming. And we're out. Peace.
It's going down.